Okay, hi, and welcome back to another episode of StillNotKPOP with StillNotDavid, and yes, today we will be talking about K-pop, and yes, my name is David. As usual, before we get into my crazy fanboy, fangirl, fan crazy mode, I want to tell you guys about a great new show from NBC and Ford called Escape Routes. You can actually win prizes for yourself by voting for the correct team. And since I'm never wrong about these things, I went ahead and voted for the team of Iris and Terrence. You guys can vote for yourselves on www.escaperoots.com, link in the description below. Vote for whoever you want. It's an easy way to win cool stuff. They're streaming live, so click here on my face to get to a video of all 6 teams. Be sure to subscribe to their channel too. Once you vote, you can watch your team every Saturday at 8/7 Central on NBC. Okay. Now back to K-pop. Before we start, as you guys can see, the lighting is a little bit different today than the other week. I have a valid excuse for that. It's because the sun went down, and I have a valid excuse for that as well. I was gonna start recording like 2 hours earlier, but then my camera decided to be out of battery, and then I had to wait for like another 1 or 2 hours for it to charge, and now the sun is no longer up, so I have to use something called artificial lighting, also known as a lamp. Anyways, on to K-pop news. Tickets for Kim Junsu's solo concert sold out in 5 minutes. Yes. Not 4 or 3 or 7, 5. Now I'm not sure exactly how they know that it was 5 minutes. Unless they put the tickets on sale and then they sat there and were like, okay, let's see how long it takes until our servers crash. Anyways, they began selling at 8 p.m. and within 2 minutes, 17,000 seats were bought. And then in the next 3 minutes, it was completely sold out. The concert would take place on March 19th and 20th. You know, to be completely honest, 5 minutes is not that long of a time. I'd be pretty mad if I was sitting here camping to buy a ticket and then all of a sudden someone rings my doorbell, and as soon as I got back, I was late by 3 minutes and couldn't get a ticket. Anyways, moving on. Last week we talked about SM Entertainment's new movie called I Am. Well, the official trailer was just released recently. The movie will be based on the artists such as BoA, Girls' Generation, Super Junior, SHINee, and FX. There's also going to be a lot of footages from SM Town in New York from last year, I think. Last year or 2 years ago, whatever year it was, I was not there for it. I remember being very upset that day. It was at Madison Square Garden, and I had to work that day. And I was really mad because Jessica was 8 hours away from you. You know, usually she's like 3 days away from me, but she was 8 hours away from me, and I was stuck serving people at work. It's a very dreadful day for me. Anyway, trailer in the description box below if you would like to see it yourself. The other day someone uploaded a picture of Sistar pigging out. The girls are showing in the picture eating lots of junk and fast food, and I believe there was a ramen in there somewhere, but I know there were fries. It's a shock to many people because celebrities usually eat like 2 cucumbers for lunch and dinner. In fact, not too long ago on a show they actually said that they consider themselves to be on the not so skinny side, which is fine. And it's kind of important that girls know this. It is okay to have fat in the right places. Sistar is a prime example of having fat in the right places. I will not continue talking about this because I might get in trouble. If you guys remember from like a month ago in the very first StillNotKPOP episode, we talked about Kara dolls being in production. Well, they are on pre-sale now, so if you would like to order, now is the chance. You can buy them in single or as a whole collection. You can have the whole family. So now for Christmas, you can buy one of each for all your 5 cousins and have them fight over Nicole. The dolls are 12 inches in size and are supposed to be very, very detailed as far as facial features of the girls go. Now for our controversial story of the week. Singer Yuri would like to throw a party for all of her exes. Now this stirred up a lot of bad comments on all K-pop's discussion board, which is fine. It is, if you think about it, it is a little messed up. She says she wants to throw a party for them in Paris and would like for all of them to get together. Now I can't imagine how that's gonna be. It's gonna be, she's gonna be like standing in the middle of a restaurant. Like, okay, so all the dudes that never got any, move to the right, and all the rich dudes, please separate and move to the left, and all the ugly people, please stay in the back. We're not done. This week we have another controversial issue, and this time about a commercial that Yuri made for a makeup brand called called Mamonde, and it's kind of messed up. The commercial went a little something like this. So we have a very expensive, luxurious handbag that every girl wants. And at the beginning of the commercial, she's standing there thinking of ways how she can get the money to buy one. Please note that the luxurious bag has nothing to do with the makeup brand. But it almost seems like the commercial was advertising the handbag. Have no fear, all your confusions are solved at the end of the commercial, where their solution was to have a rich boyfriend buy it for you. Hence the makeup. Basically, the moral of this story is, if you are beautiful, you will get a rich boyfriend who will buy you an expensive handbag and you will be very happy. A lot of girls were saying how this makes them feel bad about themselves and how it's like advertised. Who is this? What do you want from me? A lot of people were saying how the commercial was messed up because it's basically saying that it's okay to use a guy for money. And a lot of women were offended by this, but they probably do it themselves. Anyways, the commercial got taken off the website, but we still have the video clip on YouTube, so link in the description if you would like to see it yourself. In other news, Players Media is releasing a new boy band and it has a lot of members. 17 to be exact. That's a lot of homies. I remember when I first tried to learn Super Junior's name, it was kind of bad. It took me a while to memorize all their names. And that was only 13. I probably won't even bother trying. Now the thing about this group is that they have a very exciting and interesting group name. I'm gonna give you guys 3 seconds to try and figure it out before I tell you. 1, 2, 3. The group name is 17. Very unique and very special indeed. 17 has 17 members. Probably not the band for me, but we will see when they debut. DSP Entertainment's new boy band officially came up with a name and it's called AJAX. Now, for some reason, I found this to be very familiar, even though we probably never heard it before. I think I'm thinking of like tracks or something. Anyways, AJAX has 7 members, 10 less than 17, and they will be starring in their own reality show before they debut. Basically, we will be seeing a lot of gifs on Tumblr of AJAX before they even debut. The next boy band we'll be talking about today is B.A.P. B.A.P. released their music video for Power, and it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is so cool, and it actually reminded me of Mama a lot. The song was nice. It's very manly as well. I love the chorus. It was very epic. The music video was awesome. I heard it was a really high budget video too. Basically in the video they're like space warriors or whatever, and they're like robots, and they made out, and they didn't make out. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? They were made from robots or something, or whatever it was cool. And so they started dancing and singing. The only problem I have with it is there is like a Korean dead mouse, and that was really weird because it was like deadmau5, but it wasn't deadmau5, but it was very obvious that it was supposed to be something like deadmau5. Anyways, I felt the power, alright? The screen was shaking, they were like screaming, I felt the energy, the power, I felt manly like them, and then all of a sudden I see a homie with pink hair and I was like, oh no. So aside from the guy with pink hair, now even just because his hair was pink doesn't mean he wasn't manly. He was pretty cool, but you know, you gotta do something about his hair. And there was this really unique part where they were dancing with hairspray. Now I don't know if that's supposed to be spray paint or it looked like hairspray to me. It's probably the hairspray that they use on their head. They're probably like, oh, we just used this whole can of hairspray in our head, so might as well use the rest to start dancing around with it. And it was cool, I have to admit it was cool, but that was what I kind of got from it. Okay, and the last boy band that we're gonna look at today is F.Cuz. Now I'm not trying to hate, but when I opened this video I was very disappointed because I just went through like a whole line of manly ass dudes, and all of a sudden I see like girliest guys ever. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, it's not that bad, but that one guy with the blonde hair really does look like a girl. The music video was kind of not helping me change my mind either. It was like basically the 5 guys were captured and tortured and beat up or whatever, and then there's this one girl that comes and saves all of them, and she has a sword and she is a badass, and she's like slashing and slicing everyone, but there's no blood for some reason. That's something that everybody, or well, most people, or well, I was very excited to hear about, was Ivy's comeback after like 2-3 years. So I'm playing this video, I'm like, yes, I am ready to see some pretty sexy Ivy, and then all of a sudden I see the ground and I see her like pulling herself out the ground looking like the Grudge, and I'm just like, what the f is going on here? And she's like crawling out, she's covered in mud and dirt, her skin is like fucked up, and then there's a wolf just standing there like, I'm like, yo, Jacob Black, what are you doing here, son? The biggest question that comes up to my head is, where did she get that blanket from? But the song is actually really good. I really like the song. I just want to listen to the song. Back to the video. She's like running, she's like crawling and running around, and then the rain comes and it washes the stuff away, and then the wolf turned into a lamb. Anyways, yeah, link to the video in the description box below. Now for the thumbnail story of the week, which is a little outdated. Girls' Generation's first subgroup has been released. They have a very unique name, TaeTiSeo. By looking at the name, it's not very hard to know who the 3 members are. It is Taeyeon, Tiffany, and Soyeon. My first reaction is, there's no Jessica, this is not worth caring about. But I was wrong because I remembered that I also like Taeyeon. Now to top it off, they released a teaser for both Tiffany and Taeyeon, and the link is in the description below. Tiffany's teaser was okay. You know, I like Tiffany. She's very pretty. She can sing. Why isn't Jessica in this group, by the way? I just want... Where is Jessica? Jessica is also a lead singer. But once you start watching the Taeyeon trailer, you're just like... Okay, that's all we have for this week. Before we leave, question of the week. Last week's question of the week was, how do you feel about EXO's new video, and how do you feel about them as a group in general, as they are fairly new? The consensus that I kind of got from that was a lot of people like EXO. I'm so bad at it. I don't know, I saw a lot of Kai fangirls in the comments though. Like, a lot of people like Kai, so I went to look him up, and he is the guy that trolled me because I thought he was Taemin. Anyways, this week's question of the week is, if you could choose members of Girls' Generation to be in a different subgroup, who would you put together and why? Leave your answers in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next week.